I'm going to get distracted by my phone while I'm talking.
All right, so this presentation is about information overload and how raising the question, are we running our technology or is our technology running us? Basically, information is everywhere and we are becoming more and more plugged in, whether it's through our smartphones, through email, through the internet, and the vast quantities of information available there. And all of those opportunities for us to be plugged into information has made the problem of information overload just become worse. First off, I'd like to point out that getting information, useful information, from the internet, from our smartphones, from all of our different devices, is a little bit like trying to get a drink of water from the fire hydrant. All of the right pieces are there, but you're just going to get bombarded and nothing's actually going to get done. The increases in technology that we've been having have helped contribute to that, because part of what's happening is as we get more devices, we're becoming more and more integrated in our daily lives with information and the internet. We're having more constant interruptions and distraction from all those different devices and sources of information that we're using. All of these distractions cut into our general overall productivity, because every time you're distracted because an email pops up or you get a notification on your phone, it takes you that much longer to get back to the point where you were before you're distracted so you can move forward on whatever it is you're trying to do that's productive. That being said, information overload isn't caused by technology and the overabundance of information that's happening. It's at its heart a human problem, and we need a human solution to cause it. It really is a time management issue, and time management is a behavioral issue. So no matter how fancy the software or how new our smartphone is, we aren't going to be able to have our devices fix the problem of information overload and time management for us. And you have to remember, at the end of the day, technology is only as good as the people who are using it. So if technology is not going to be our one-button fix-it solution, what are we going to have to do? The first step is to change the way that you work. You need to understand what your own personal time guzzlers are. What is it that takes your time and sucks the productivity out of you? And once you understand that, create a plan to manage those problems so that you can work around them and address them. For example, with me, I know that when I'm working on something that's not particularly thrilling or engaging, if I see an email pop up in my inbox, I will quit what I'm doing and go read the email and probably answer it, and then maybe answer 3 or 4 more until I get more and more distracted and forget what I was doing in the first place. Or if the phone rings and you're in the middle of something, you still pick up the phone and answer it, and then you get involved in the conversation with the person on the other end, all of those sorts of things. These types of interruptions don't need to cut into what we're already doing. You don't need to read your emails right away. If it's not an emergency, it'll wait until you can get to it. And we have voicemail for a reason. We don't have to pick it up and talk to someone as soon as they talk to us. If you're in the middle of something important, let it ring to voicemail, and then you can address it when you have the time to give it your full attention rather than being distracted by what it is you've already got on your mind. And another solution to work with this is to schedule times in your workday to address those emails, catch up on the voicemails, read the news feed that you know you're going to want to read and waste time on anyway. And if you schedule those times in the day to do that, then you won't feel the urgency or the anxiety to address each individual item as it comes up, because you know that you'll be able to get to it when you're ready for it. Another strategy that is helpful in managing your time is to realize that it's okay to unplug once in a while. You don't have to be constantly plugged into your phone, the internet, what's happening, everything that's going on. You don't need to let technology distract you just because it's there. If you step back and evaluate your information habits and see what you're doing, how you're doing it, how it's going to be useful, that will help you realize where it may be useful for you to step back and say, I'm going to work just on my computer for now, I'm going to turn off my phone, I'm not going to have my email turned on, so I can just be productive and not have the distractions. And not just at times when you're unplugged completely, but to also recognize those times when, or the things that you don't need. For example, do you need to have your phone and your computer and your personal email all pinging you with the same notification every time someone puts a comment on your Facebook? Or do you need to have Do you really need to sign up for another news feed that's going to send you constant updated information all day to distract you? Are you really going to read that? Is it something you're going to use, or is it just going to cut into your productivity and cause problems? So part of this is realizing that whether it's becoming completely unplugged from technology and away from all of the information out there for a time period in order to be focused productively, or whether it's to take a step back from some devices and become sort of half unplugged, if that's a real thing, and have less devices plugged in that are interrupting you on a continuous basis. The moral of the story is that being unplugged doesn't have to mean that you come unglued. You can still be productive and engaged in the world around you. Basically, the moral of the story is that in order to avoid information overload leading to this lack of productivity that we often see, you need to find the information strategy that works for you in your unique situation and behaviors. This may be a technological solution. You may find a technology that helps you plan your time and manage it, but the important thing to remember is that if you are using technology to help you be productive and help you deal with all the information in your life around you, you need to make sure that you're the one using the technology and using it rather than bending your behaviors to the demands of the technology and letting it run you.